Right now, where there's living, there's 3 days of like 100 degrees and um, smoke from fires. And this morning, there was going out on the back stoop for like maybe 20 minutes with the cats. It was like 70 at that point. And the nose started getting congested by all the adjutants being breathed in, and then the lungs, like it was like, oh, this is like a very mild, like people maybe with asthma or couldn't get a full breath and coughing. And there was like a simultaneous like recognition of the like the art piece. It's like people making who make sci-fi films, like the art piece of the body response, how it attempts to filter and protect and signal and just blissed out of my mind at the beauty. And not even just at the beauty, there was also just bliss uh for no reason. Um and every time there's like a bracing in a way, like I have to sit down or hold something, and it's just like fuck. Oh my God. Fuck. Right now it's not quite that like that kind is like super expansive. This is like a very grounded um in that it doesn't feel like it's pushing out or something or airy. It feels closer to like the personal love or character loving. It's not in a direction, but it feels like in the being of the body. And there was glasses because like it's fun not being able to see. I can't see distance. I don't have distance glasses. I don't drive, so it's fine. But and at some point it might reach a threshold that it's not fun anymore, and then action might be taken. But it's even close up, it's fun not being able to see. But like I got a splinter and I needed the glasses. So I've been grateful for glasses that get the splinter out of my finger. There was reading from a book my friend gave me. I don't really read anymore, but he said that this person's story reminded him of mine, and like not the history of the character, but the the description she uses for what she's experiencing it. And there's a lot of overlap. There's a section in the book about surrender. Oh, so beautiful to read. Other people are so much better at teaching and describing this, like where to look or how to look differently. She described it so well. And I don't know how the rules or laws or whatever work with this YouTube thing. I want to read it, but I don't know how that works. There's appreciation for like protections for people. Yes. I mean, I get how that works in our society that's like transactional, that what someone created is from safe to be used transactionally in a transactional world, that other people can't use it transactionally because it belongs to someone else or something. But it's really funny. And the funny thing is like, I don't think she would mind me reading it, but YouTube might mind. I don't know how that works. Like right now, also I'm listening to Kulu's Cafe, and I've done this before, like turn on so you can hear, but then YouTube flags those videos as different or something around monetizing or there was recently adding like a way to donate to my videos. I don't know if it went through all of them and added it, but like the recent ones, because why not? If people enjoy expressing that way or moving energy that way, like let it rip, let it flow. This sometimes does that. It'll like see something and then sometimes it's just a like or a hype or whatever. And sometimes it's like, oh, yeah, I want to support that. Even yesterday, my landlord called and she was kind of like, she's so sweet. And she was kind of like equivocating, like, I got to let you know that I've been here 6 or 7 years and she's never raised the rent. She's like, the expenses are high in order to, she was like kind of apologetic. As I just responded, like, I'm so glad you're taking care of yourself, that you're keeping the business running and you're keeping yourselves afloat. That's what I'd want. And I love living here. No problem. No problem. It's so nice to genuinely prefer that. I don't know what you'd say, what you call it, like resources shared or something, than like getting mine or getting more than my fair share or something, or like grabbing, grappling. It's also very, like, it's more mature than it's ever been. It's not frivolous or Pollyanna. It just naturally cuts back when there's less money, takes on more clients. When it's free to run, it is so gentle. And that includes what was historically called pain or unpleasant. When it's free to be how it is, it's so gentle. It's like an internal massage. Less and less the internal part. My old sponsor called today. He never calls for program calls. He's like recently, maybe 4 months ago, 5 months ago, he reached out to get together because he's thinking of switching professions or making some changes or adding something. But he just kind of, what do you say? Said, who has what I want or something? Or why don't I call Sarah or something? And back when he was sponsoring me years ago, many years ago, at some point he had asked if we could become co-sponsors. And I didn't want that at that time. But when he called today, there was no plan, nothing. It all is just so fucking gentle and simple. Been without a sponsor for years. I had a feedback group instead. And also there's no secrets kept anymore. I basically everyone knows everything. I'm not like boundaryless, but with program people, I don't hide things. I don't share things if there's a sense that people will misunderstand or like give unsolicited advice from their own fear or conditioning or rules. That's really nice. It's just very natural how it uh, opens where there's more opening. Um, but yeah, he called today and I called him back and he was just talking about his sponsor not being available and this just so it just came out of the mouth like if you want to give co-sponsorship a try. Here, there's not anyone in the program that has what I want. I have what I want. So it would just be another place to tell the truth and to kind of connect regularly. He was really excited and happy. I don't know if excited is quite, but like, yeah, he's like totally up for it. So we made a plan to meet in a week in person. We both want like meeting in person. It's like unobstructed flow of energy. The energy is like painting a story on its own accord. It used to paint a resistance story. Now it seems to paint a like a flow story. And then um, I just started writing my story. badly because that's I write badly. But there was an announcement that the basically our main text for our program was accepting entries, story entries for the new edition. I don't know if it'll happen, but the writing started happening, and this particular person that I called is an editor. So that might be what I use that time for, is to get help writing my story to submit. It's like another way to be of service in this painting story of service in the story. Yeah, and it was just like a natural evolution. Like the my friend, I like my spiritual friend asked me if I had a sponsor. I said no. And then in the meeting yesterday, the topic was sponsorship. And then today, Gary called. Oh, I said his name. It was funny. And yeah, the byproduct, that this friend and I had both recently, when we were hanging out, we had expressed like the fear thoughts that the conditioning brings up. Like his fear thought was that I was 13th stepping him, which was really funny. It was so understandable and it was so funny. Like that's how the mind would like justify that I would want to hang out with him because it couldn't possibly be because I just like hanging out with him. So the mind makes up a story, like in the mind like because of the undeserving or whatever is happening there, or like that it doesn't make sense to the mind somehow. The mind comes up with a story that I'm 13th stepping him, but it doesn't work because I'm never gonna have sex with him. But it's reasonable. And then the story that came up here was that once he really discovers for sure that I'm never gonna have sex with him, he'll stop hanging out with me. But the meeting again in co-sponsorship is like also like as soon as I got off the phone and we made that decision together, it was recognized that, oh, this might help my friend to feel more safe or comfortable, and that's nice. Like to know that I'm meeting with a specific person, it might help him relax, which is really, I would want that for him. I would want him to feel comfortable, safe. It's nice. So it's like a win-win-win-win-win. I'm gonna read this. I don't know. This whole video might get blocked or not get to happen after doing this, but this is from the book When Fear Falls Away by Jan Fraser. And this is the section on surrender near the end of the book. How suffering becomes a door to peace. How pain is a trapdoor that if stood fully upon, so how pain is a trapdoor that if stood fully upon, opens under the terrible weight of full acceptance. How the trapdoor is the roof above a pool of aching tenderness. Oh, I love that. How the very things we think are obstacles to peace are windows, and on the other side of the windows are our peaceful selves. How if we do not get this, the obstacles will keep coming and keep coming. How we pull them to us like iron filings to a magnet. I've described it as like a bulldozer or a snow shovel, like it just keeps collecting. Hmm. How powerful is a human being? How little we know this. How the not knowing is the greatest obstacle of all. How the hard button eyes of another human being, the blank glazed eyes of another suffering human being are tunnels into truth. So much light to be found there in accepting the pain of another human being. Eckhart Tolle talks simply of surrender, and by surrender, he means plain acceptance of the present reality. He does not mean be a doormat. He means just look. Acknowledge the fact of a thing, and you will find peace in that plain act. And the fact of a thing includes your response to it. Surrender to the fact of being afraid. Surrender to whatever is in the moment. Stand in the full reality of being angry or lonely. Do not resist it. Stand with both feet on the fact of what is bringing you pain, frustration, weariness, fear, anger, jealousy, confusion, stress. Accept it. All your weight fully gathering in recognition of it. And the trapdoor swings because of your willingness to be fully present in the face of this moment, inner and outer, whatever it holds. And that's not an intellectual acceptance. It's not like a saying this is happening. It's becoming it or tasting it or moving toward it, letting it overtake, letting it be here in the quantity and form that it actually is, which is beyond just thought. Or sometimes now, like I'll check with the client, it'll seem like the old conditioning operating, but I'll check. I was like, are you having a thought? Is the thought arising and a body sensation, or is it just a thought? And as the aperture of consciousness opens up and there's uh, shadow worked on all of that more and more often, it's just a thought. Like there isn't even a body reaction. And then it's like, oh, then peace has some hope of coming to you, and only then. Once peace has come to be your present reality, it is then and it is there that you can take meaningful action to fill in the blank, alleviate suffering, create, figure out, rejoice, rest, organize. To the extent you resist accepting the present reality, you deny yourself access to peace. Yeah, what I was saying to my friend on the phone about sponsorship was that it really, now looking back, it felt like I had to come into full autonomy, direct relationship, not relationship, direct transmission or something. There was an overemphasis in this life of living other people's rules for me or other people's realities. And coming into 12 step, it was nice. It was a kinder replacement, but it was still living by other people's rules and realities. And I needed to step out into autonomy. And I wouldn't necessarily recommend that for somebody in their first decade or 15 years of sobriety, just kind of depending on the conditions. But um, it had to happen here, or it did happen here at some point. And now there's like a softening back, like, yeah, there's no, this doesn't have to equivocate or doubt, and it doesn't have to protect its knowing anymore. Um, it, yeah, it's okay if other people don't agree or don't understand. This is a fact that is larger than any other fact. How we try to steer around it, how we think if we can make a wide enough berth around what pains us, we can manage to get to peace. How a person can piss away a whole delicious life in trying to avoid, try harder, deny. How the balls just keep getting pitched. How life just keeps pitching and pitching. How weary the arms grow of swinging. How once in a while one of the balls is hit and we delude ourselves into feeling victorious. How another will come and soon the bat will break. All the while we did not notice home plate under our feet, did not notice the hinges down there, but we kept our feet too spread, our eyes too intent on the incoming pitch and the splintery bat in our clenched fingers. It's funny. The splintery bat. I got a splinter right after reading this. Um, how the balls keep coming, how we get too tired to duck, how they hit us in the teeth and shatter our teeth, how they shatter our glasses and split and bruise our skin and make us bleed. And we fall down on home plate, curl up and cry, why me? And sometimes this is the very ticket, the fallen, broken, old, ugly, painful life, ready to give up and just quit the game, feels the cheek put to the warm comfort of what has always held us up. And sometimes the hum of something deeper in the bone and rock of the mighty earth tells the exhausted cheekbone, there's a deeper something, the thing you've always longed for. How a person does not have to be beaten to a pulp to get there. How the option to take the gentle route is always open. How the door to the gentler way is to be found in the plain fact of the present moment, the present possibly very difficult moment. This is the fact that is larger than any other fact. My friend on the drive back from erratic dance last night kind of like admitted something that she had discovered was beautiful, that you can never say in general public. Or I mean, you could, but and we were laughing. I was like, yeah, we were laughing like we would get locked up mental ward for saying such things. It feels like my other friend, he like he sees it too, but it's still almost like it's skirting the edge of like justification for bad behavior. Not bad behavior, but like justification for movements that aren't like reverberatingly beneficial. There's a word for that. I don't know if it's in sociology or might look it up at some point. I remember when I learned of the word, the example given and the person teaching the word was breastfeeding. How breastfeeding, like the compounding, it's just like this fractals of benefit reverberating. It's like a birth control for the mom. It's food for the baby. It's like helps the baby's immune system, like the whole thing. So he and I talk about similar things, but it doesn't have that awe and delight. It's got like a holding to it, like with these certain movements of nature. Well, it's nature, it's almost like so I don't have to do anything about it. Or so it's like the feel. I don't know exactly. That's not quite right. It's like holding an identity of life is dark and seedy or something. It feels like identity wrapped up. And it's quite possible that this has like identity wrapped up in bright, joyful, you know, it's nice being around him and like talking about and looking at and accessing the pain in life. And even in his own life, like it's the suffering he experiences is it is so beautiful and it is so innocent. And we can't really, we can go the hard way or the soft way, but there does have to, in a way, be at some point life choosing. It doesn't have to be. What do I mean by this? Like wholeness is like all of it. So this might have had a tendency toward kind of positivity or something. So like letting in all of it, which is funny because its life started with like the darkest darkness. But um so he and I like kind of balance each other that way. It's nice. Like he helps me descend and I help him ascend. Maybe. I don't remember how beautiful I found it. I think it was the story of Yeshe Sogyo, less Yeshe Sogyo. She was the one Padmasambhava's consort, like went into the hell realms, like willingly or something. And that can happen. I mean, I don't know what was meant. I can't really know what was meant by that in those stories or for those other beings or whatever. But that the hell realms can be deeply, deeply, seemingly internal and personal. It can also be relational or societal, like deeply in the societal story. Yeah, I felt it too, like walking with him at one point, and there was a houseless person who was kind of yelling and talking, and he was laughing. And this laugh too, it saw the humor, but that wasn't the full picture here. It wasn't it wasn't a fully natural movement. What was fully honest in that moment was, I don't know. I don't know what that is. So, like, the content of what the man was saying, if I remember correctly, was kind of funny. The conditions were heartbreaking. And there was just not knowing. And he quite possibly, my friend quite possibly has like more, I don't know how else to say, it's not quite the right word, but like right to laugh. He's traversed territory much closer, I think, to that man's experience than I have. So be irritated from the smoke. Kind of pleasant, but like itchy feeling. I'm gonna sit here and look and ask, what's that, for a while. It's so fun.